All right, Catherine, thank you for hosting our garden talk today. It's December 1st, so I am going to hand it over to Catherine Johnston, our master food preserver.
Well, welcome, Merry Christmas. I can say it's December 1st. Yeah. And this is the third in a series that I've done. So you can go back to our site and find the other Zoom videos that I've done and also acquire the other recipes. But this is the third, and it took a little time for me to figure out what to do. So I'm starting off making a chicken noodle soup. And my friend gave me these wonderful boxes. So if you've ever gone and gotten that Harry and David special box thing, you can do it yourself. And I'm calling it the Catherine package. So I'm going to start with the biggest one. And this one, I'm not doing it in a mason jar as the recipe says. I'm going to do it in a Ziploc bag. And I'm just going to set it inside my box. So it's going to be that simple. So I think we can all do that. Right? This is my problem side of the room. Just kidding. Anyways, so the first ingredient says dehydrated carrots, dehydrated celery. Well, I have a dehydrator at my house and I decided to start dehydrating again. I hadn't done it in a long time. And I just was really excited about like, oh, I finally have something to why to do it. So I actually dehydrated. And I did carrots and celery together on a tray. Well, that was good and bad at the same time because now it's hard to measure. So then I decided, ooh, I want mixed vegetables because I read more and more recipes. And the recipe, I said mixed vegetables. I'll take frozen vegetables and dehydrate them. So this is actually 2 packages of dehydrated vegetables. Somebody asked me, why would you do dehydration? Well, look at how much less space I have. It's not in my freezer. It's just in a little container. And, you know, so it's very safe. Yeah.
Is it the 2 10-ounce boxes or the 16-ounce bags?
Bags. Thank you for saying that. So yeah, it was the bag. So this is a lot of vegetables. And so anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, I did kind of do this. And this is, so it's this carrots and celery all mixed up. And I'm going to put a handful of the other mixed vegetables in too. And you guys that are here get to taste this afterwards. So you'll see that I did the exact same thing. And so will I continue to dehydrate? Yes, because the price of celery is crazy right now. And I don't know about you, but I hate throwing things away. So I use up my celery and I think, well, I can still use it for soup. So I'm dehydrating every time I buy some and I have extra, I'm dehydrating. So this is all just celery. So now the next time I need soup, I can just throw it in. So that makes it pretty fast. Another tower of Catherine here. So the next thing is 2 cups of egg noodles. Well, I pre-measured it. And you can use whatever kind. I was really looking for those little tiny, like Mrs. Gross's noodles. I couldn't find them, you know, with what's going on in society. It just seems to be, you can't find whatever you're looking for. But it was, so there's 2 cups that are in there. And then the next is all my little dried ingredients. So I pre-measured them except for the bay leaf. There's one bay leaf goes in. Okay, so what else is going in is 2 teaspoons of dried parsley, a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of thyme, a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and the 1 bay leaf. Now, if you don't like a whole lot of onion, don't put a whole lot in. If you like more, add more. If you like more thyme. So anyways, one of the recipes actually called for red pepper flakes. Well, like no, but if you like it, add it in. Some went Italian and did other kinds of seasoning. So you can go online and see all different kinds of flavoring. So then the last thing that you have to put in is I also put the minced onions, which is 2 tablespoons. It's these little cubes, these little bouillon cubes. Well, the recipe called for 2. I decided I wanted a little more flavorful, so I'm adding 3. So if you want to write it in your little notes that I added 3, you know, you can say she added 3. But there's no salt because this is your salt. Okay. So this is what you're getting. This little bag. Yes, you can put it in a mason jar or whatever. I'm just taking out the air. And if you had one of those, you know, things that take out the air. So then I would put on a tag. What else you have to do is you're going to take, it says in the recipe, 6.5 cups of water. I recommend you already have it boiling. It doesn't say in any direction, but by having it boiling, then the pasta is not going in cold. So, you know, and by the way, if you don't want noodles, you can use pasta. But so anyway, so 6.5 cups of water. That's all they need. But later on, it'll say, you can add 3 cups of diced chicken. So I had one of those little chickens, at the deli, tore it apart, there's my 3 cups. So, and so that's what you're gonna get is the chicken. So if there's a bone, make sure it's a real chicken, it's not dehydrated chicken. And so anyways, I did note down here that you could use the dehydrated vegetables. So there's tower part 1. Hold on. Isn't it exciting? They're super simple. So let me just change out what we're doing here.
Is that super simple?
Soup, like my tree. Oh, by the way, I collect Campbell soup. So my tree this year is a super tree. Yes, Paul.
Yeah, and left it in a pint mason jar.
You can. Yes, you can put it in a pint mason jar. It depends on the pasta you use. That's why I was looking for the finer pasta because it'll fit in the pint. But I was also looking for something that'll fit in my little box, easier too. So yes, I need that. I have a handy little helper. She's my little elf. So cute. If you get on screen so they can see you.
Oh, yes, with the.
That's the insurance. Hopefully this will not be too loud for you guys out at home. So into this pan, I'm just telling you ahead of time, I already have some chocolate. I'll be adding to it in a minute, but it's white chocolate. So I'm going to do another one. Directions do not say this. I put in a big bowl. I'm lazy. I'm cheap. We find out. So I don't like doing dishes. So I did do it in a bowl at home, but here I'm going to do it in a big bag. And so you're going to add 5 cups of your cereal. Now, this is rice Chex. You can use other cereal like Crispix or whatever, but if you have a gluten intolerance or something, I don't know if this is gluten free or not. It might be something of substitute up so that somebody's counting. Yes, Kim.
I have made puppy chow and I use the golden grams.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good.
I don't know if that would go good with
Probably not
peppermint.
good.
Is that for?
You're for.
She did that on purpose.
Oh, no, I know.
You said we were the troublesome side of it.
I was really pointing to that person. That's what you get when family comes. Okay, so I have 5 cups of cereal in the bag, and then I probably like change the recipe from to peppermint. So it's peppermint crunch puppy chow, and you'll find it under different recipes online. And so anyways, I need 10 ounces of chocolate. So I got most of it already melted, but I wanted everyone to see. So I bought a chunk of chocolate. Looks like it's called almond bark. Okay, this package made enough for 2 recipes of it. And this recipe doubles super easily. And it typically goes together in about 10 minutes. So super fun if you have family and you have those extra candy canes after the holidays and you still have family that, coming by, grab the Chex stuff and just make it. And I also like this because it's great for kids to do. Some people are grandparents here. You want something for the kids to do. This is a good one. So, and they do not recommend white chocolate chips. There's an extra additive in that. That doesn't, it kind of clumps or whatever. So this will freeze, and it doesn't say this on your recipe. It'll freeze up to 3 months in your freezer. That's if it lasts through your holidays. So I'm just going to give this a stir. It needs to melt up really well. And there's water on the bottom, so it's a double boiler, so you don't burn it. You may use your microwave to do this whole thing. But please do it every 20 seconds and stir. Get this out of the way. The other ingredient I'm going to need is candy canes. Now, when I bought this stuff, there were some candy canes around. So I got those little round pieces of candy. I just have to say, I left them in the little package and I used my meat mallet, okay? And I crunched each one, so it's one hit. So don't be mad at anybody when you do this, you're gonna end up with crumbs. Okay, you guys that are having it, you're gonna tell you that they're a little crumbly. So anyways, just one hit and they cracked. And then I just opened up each package and measured it out. So it's 1 cup. So that's what's gonna go in next. But anyways, okay, so this is already done. You never see where. Oh, it's over. That's what I need. Oh, give me this. Actually, I would actually have this now. Actually, what I need, we should come around the side. And if we move on, I can scrape. Scrape it. Nope. So good. Also, I smell a sweet. Like super sweet on my nose. Now, if you wanted to, if you really like peppermint flavor, which I'm not a fan, if this, before you dump this in, you could have added peppermint oil to make it more peppermint-y. I'm not a fan of that flavor. So. Actually, not even that smell. Okay, would you like to shake me? Sure. Okay. So we're gonna add 2 more ingredients. One is optional and the other is more sugar. 3/4 of a cup of that. And then these are a specialty little sprinkle. They're little holly leaves that are green and red. I did not use them in last night's because I already had them here. So I'm gonna shake. By the way, that's a jumbo size bag. That's just what I brought with me.
Make sure perfectly evenly goes.
So this is what they have here. So this is what I'm using. We're just going to take some out and put it in a little bag. Normally I'd let it set, but I just wanted to show you. Nope, that's why I use this. Because I didn't know where the fluffs were at that point. Okay, so
Normally you would spread it out and let it dry,
I would
right?
let it dry, yeah.
So spread it out on a wax paper pan and.
Yep. Which one? Oh, okay, so goes in my box. Number 2. Yay. Yes. Okay, so that's recipe number 2. Oh, I also had this really cool. Review. Not till the end. Okay, I had this really cool Christmas bag, and I thought this would be really neat to put a bag in and have it fluffed out with a little ribbon. If you wanted another thing, you go give like the boss or something. This would be a good one. So.
Or your master gardener coordinator.
Some of them got some earlier. They have the chicken noodle soup cooking, and all of a sudden people are coming in with, it's not chicken soup. Or turkey. The last one is my favorite. So we have a dark chocolate hot fudge sauce. To my friends, have I made this before? We've had ice cream parties, and I have this on the stove. Okay. So in my pan, is this in the right place?
Yes.
Okay. In my pan, I'm going to put 1 stick of butter. And this is on low, medium heat. Like the beginning of the paper towel roll or the wax paper and the saran wrap. Where do you find the end? Hey. I need a red dot or something on that. So we're gonna have that going and melting. At the same time as this is, oh, would help if I put it on. Yes. I have heavy cream and I have a cup and a half of heavy cream. So this is not a diet special. It's just special. Like really special. And if my friend Jan is watching, yeah, I'm gonna make you some more. She requests it quite often, and I do indulge because I go over there and have ice cream. So you just want to let that heat slowly. But it's not a double boiler, so you have, this is one you have to stay with it. So in the meantime, I already have measured out 1 cup of brown sugar and a half a cup of granulated sugar. And I have in ready, I have dark chocolate, and I did buy Hershey's Special Dark. You can buy Hershey's regular. Toll House has the cocoa, whatever it is you like. If you like the Dutch cocoa, use that. Whatever it is your tongue likes, but my tongue likes dark chocolate. So it takes 1 cup and 3 tablespoons. So I pre-measured that out. So I'm waiting here for this. So little bubbles are going to happen on the edging so that I know that it's all that. But you can also tell by the butter being melted. And it's ready to go. And this is going to be my little container that they go in. So yeah, I know it's not enough. It's enough for 1 person with a good hot. By the way, forget the ice cream sometimes, just a spoon. Yeah. And okay, so the reason why I picked this recipe, I wrote myself a note at the very bottom. It says this law is no longer advisable. It used to be a recipe given out that you could can, because I actually teach canning. They do not advise us to can this any longer. So that we're not getting it up to temperature enough in a hot water bath to preserve the dairy. And so that's why I picked this to say, you have this recipe, one like it, you can. So it's better, make it fresh, use it up. It keeps up to 3 weeks, but it never lasts that long in my house. I'm serious. But I do make it and I share it and I make it for special occasions. So
Yeah. Would it be pressure can?
no, they're just saying no to it altogether. I know, and it's just like, and that's why, like, if you look at Mrs. Richardson's or any of the other ones that are on the market, there are extra preservatives in it. So we're not adding anything. And that's why I like this recipe. Even though I like those sauces, if that's all I have, I can taste that preservative. And you're gonna taste just chocolate, you know, and lots of fat. It's yeah.
So it goes in the refrigerator once you.
Oh,
make it.
yes, yes. So yeah, my little box would go in the refrigerator. But when I deliver these things, they are all. I'm doing good for being a half-hour show. So anyways, coming up at some point, I just got somebody said they would film me. I will show how to dehydrate carrots and celery so they stay green. So there is a trick. And so you can watch it for our upcoming show on that. And it should take very short time, so I'm not doing a half hour.
Catherine, what if one is not on a dehydrator?
Say that again?
What if I don't own a dehydrator?
Oh, I can give you the oven recipe to do it. You can use it in your oven.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just that, and I will show you the difference. Thank you for saying that. In this thing, I will talk about my dehydrator, which I did buy at Salvation Army for $10. And it is the second in the top of the line. Like there's a top of the line. I didn't know what they had. I have to just say, I was really lucked out when I walked in. I'm like, oh, it's the second in the line. I got it. And I grabbed it. And they're like, you want one? I'm like, yeah. And so you can buy them at garage sales pretty cheap too. But there's ones I would tell you to stay away from and ones that I would say are well worth your time.
Can you tell us which one you recommend with the top?
I will,
of the line?
yeah, when I do the video, I'll do because right at the moment I can't tell you what my brand is.
Okay,
But what you want is what to look for is a thermostat on it that will change the temperature so that because otherwise like Ronco, remember the guy who used to stand up and sell
Oh, yeah.
all those things? Well, anyways, he had one. And it was on, that was it, it was on. There was no, it was just on or off. So there's no temperature control. So what you want, so for vegetables, 135 degrees is what you want your oven set at for the lowest temperature. But on my thing, I can do 135, 250, 100 degrees. I can do it really, depending on what it is, I can vary my dehydrating. And some things you want to go slower with. So we're almost there. It's the butter is now melted, so we're getting there. Okay, so next going in is your sugars. And what you're looking for on this one is to know, oops. Sorry, dear. It's right where the wax paper wasn't. Which needed to be washed. Anyways, so you don't want any little granules of sugar. So that meant that was a well-packed pound sugar. So it was a cup of brown sugar and a half a cup of regular sugar, granulated sugar. And so, and you know, if you've made candy or whatever, you can still see the granules, or you may even do Jell-O. You don't want to see the Jell-O granules. Okay, I remember making Jell-O as a kid. Like, oh, it's done, put the ice cubes in or whatever. Like, oh, it wasn't really mixed. So anyway, so the nice thing about this recipe too is you don't have to use a thermometer. It's totally, you're gonna see the difference, and I'll describe it to you so you can tell, which is terrible about the viewing. You can't see what I'm looking at. But right now there's like heavy milk on the top and the sugar is starting to melt. So it's like this creaminess of a dark brown going through, like caramel almost. And so like I said, this is that recipe that you have to stay on point with. And to be honest, I just bought this induction stovetop. I have to say, I have a gas top stove and I love it. But this recipe is coming together a lot easier, a lot more controlled with this. So that and my new copper pot.
Your pot is beautiful.
Yeah.
Is that one of those, that's not one of those ones they sell on TV?
It is, but that's not where I got it. I got it at Crossroads House this last week. Brand new in the box. Yeah.
Just the one pot, or did you get?
Just the one. And the induction, got it at a garage sale with my friend. And it came with a copper pot too. So I have 2 copper pots. And the induction oven, just so you know, if you get one, you have to have magnetized pans. So it can't be just any like beautiful pan. I had some beautiful pans. They don't work. It has to have metal in it. It has to have iron in it. And so the copper has enough in it so that'll work. So my Revereware pans, they don't work.
You use cast iron on a
Yes,
induction?
yes. So this is getting, so there's almost no granules. So you have to wait for that. And then part that I don't like doing is adding the cocoa, because if I add it wrong, I end up with lumps, and I don't want you guys to have lumps. So I'm going to change to a whisk. And I have this really cool Teflon whisk. I'm just saying, this is only what I use it for sure, is this recipe. But what I've learned is if I sift the cocoa in, I don't end up with the lumps as much. So you can see there's little lumps in the bottom here. So we're going to shake those right through.
When would you like me to start when we serve?
Somebody asked for what? Oh, yes, if you want to stir, that would be great.
And you're just using a colander. You're not using like a flour sifter,
No, there wasn't one here.
but you would use one at home.
Nope, I don't have one in there.
Well, would it be a better option than a colander?
I have a special strainer that I use. It's smaller. You're gonna need a little chocolate. Oh my God, this smells like, this smells like awesomeness, like a special cake, you know? Oh, no, that's wet. Well. Okay. You do what you have. Yeah, my sister inherited my mother's sifter.
You don't make those anymore.
I don't think so. Well, maybe we go to East Aurora.
They don't make
Oh.
flower sisters?
I don't know.
They, like the ones that are like the can and you like, you
Yeah, you
spin it. I have one, but it might have been my grandma's.
I mean, recipes still call for sifted flowers, yeah.
Every cake.
Yeah, so I have a Pampered Chef. Sifter that's really small. I should say strainer that's really small. That's what I use.
Trying to scrape the side.
I know, I'm trying to.
Oh my goodness.
I know. There's still like a half a cup in here. I'm just sitting.
All right, I don't see any questions from our Zoom participants.
Look how dark and chocolatey.
Wow.
So at some point, somebody wants a caramel sauce like this, I can give you the recipe for that too. I'm just a fan of chocolate. So we need to add some salt, which I forgot. So this is all you need is like that much salt. So look, I got exactly how much salt I need. And a half a teaspoon of vanilla.
Is Catherine's the heat still on?
It's on low.
Okay.
Yeah, if you hear the fan. Yeah.
All right, so if you're doing this at home, you would have your burner set at low then?
Oh, yeah.
I could taste.
We can smell it too here.
Smell-o-vision. Okay, they'll let you take that out. Okay, if you would bring me one ice cream. Then we can show. We'll show everybody what they're missing at home.
Bring the statue up so you can just, oh. Yeah,
I do this for
nice.
Yep. Wow. So
Like shiny.
yeah, it's a super shiny. So that's what you would get. Oh, I do need that anyways, because I gotta fill my presents. I'm turning it off. You would, I don't see the word off. That's my problem. That's this one. It doesn't even say pen. Yeah. Yeah.
So does it thicken when
It
you
does.
cool it? Okay, and then you can heat it
And
up
then you have to
before you
heat it
put
up,
on
yeah.
ice cream?
Or you just, like I said.
Yeah, like heat it with a spoon.
So we were just talking about shipping it, so it would ship okay because it would solidify. Not if-
It still needs refrigeration, so you'd have to put ice or something.
Yeah.
You could use one of those styrofoam boxes, puts mice in it,
Well,
put
maybe.
the jar in the ice.
$1.72 jar of sauce will cost about 87.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Shipping
It depends on how much you like the person you're sending it to.
or ship them the recipe.
With a box of Hershey cocoa.
Yeah, there you go.
There's my other one, but if I was gonna do this really in this box, I'd probably put it in a big jar. But to my friends. So. They get peppermint French, they get hot mussels, and they get chicken noodle soup. Oh, would you like to bring this? I could show everybody what it looks like. Because it's all done. And then I wrap it up. And anybody from business women, I could donate that tonight.
You're really good.
So I'll just show everybody at home what the soup looks like. So, yeah. And I didn't even add 3 cups of chicken. It was only 2, but it's still a lot of chicken. And the only thing, my problem with this is you're gonna see it when you guys taste it. I did put in the 6.5 cups of water, whatever, but I started it at 11 or 10:30. So it's been cooking for a while. So the noodles have absorbed more. So you're really getting noodle casserole. Bit of broth. So anyways, Merry Christmas, everybody.
All right, I just want to check before we break here, if anyone on the Zoom has a question for Catherine, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. I don't see anybody. They are out there. Great job, thank you from Kristen. I'm trying to see everybody here. So, anybody, any questions for Catherine?
Yes, Paul.
Catherine, how did you say, or you didn't say, do we keep the color for the carrots and the celery?
I didn't tell you because that's a different class, but
Good
Yep.
luck to make this, I don't know.
do you have a dehydrator home? Okay, you have to blanch them. You have to blanch your carrots and celery. And you do it, you cut your carrots and celery in 3-inch stems and then blanch it and have your ice, and it's a process. I could write it out for you, Paul, and leave it for.
Would it help if you dehydrated it in the onions, in the oven also? You blanched.
You can also dehydrate. You don't have to blanch the onions. You can dehydrate it. I didn't dehydrate mine because if you've ever caramelized onions, your whole house smells like onions for a while, and you salivating the whole day, and I don't need to feel like I'm hungry all the time.
No, I just mean if you dehydrated the oven, and I think onion came out first, you also blanch the vegetables first.
Yes. Yes, for yeah, anything you want to keep, like the beans you would, whatever. That's why I love the green beans and everything. Oh my God, it's frozen. All I have to do is go and dehydrate it. So that's why I did it that way. And I also didn't have any green beans left over in my garden. So I did dehydrate all of the herbs. They were all things that I had dehydrated. So.
All right, any other questions?
Oh, Mary's got one.
Hi, I was curious a little bit more information about the excess confectionery sugar and wine line. And one more thing, and the white chocolate, did you recommend only like a milk chocolate?
No, it's a white chocolate or chocolate bar, but not chocolate chips. But, this is my batch.
Okay.
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 I'll show everybody up here. Yeah, it was in the back of the room. Sorry, this was yesterday's recipe. I think. So
Could you repeat the
the
question?
question was about the confectionery sugar. Why should you get rid of it? So on the bottom, there's a lot of extra confectionery sugar. And so we pre-serve these, so they're all ready for you guys. So you just don't want to eat all that sugar. Well, the kids might, but it's like all that in your mouth. So anyway, so that's what it's all about. It's like the extra confectionery sugar. So yeah. So anyways.
And don't use white chocolate
Right,
chips,
don't use
right?
white chocolate chips, use just your,
Because they don't melt as well.
right, any of the barks, or you can buy, Baker's Chocolate is a brand that's out there that you've seen in the store. This was a brand,
Do the white chocolate
yes,
wafers
wafers
work?
will work too, as long as they're not old. Once they start getting old, they don't like melting. And I learned that just recently with something else I was doing.
All right, any other questions for Catherine, online or in person? All right, well, thank you, Catherine. Thank you so much for our Christmas
Edition.
edition
Part 3.
of Garden Talk. And for you folks who are out there and interested, we take a break in January from Garden Talk, but we will be starting up again in February. So start looking. I don't know exactly when we'll have our schedule ready, but we will be back the first Thursday in February. Thank you, everybody.